A Scandal in Bohemia. 1. To Sherlock Holmes, she is always the woman. I have seldom heard him mention her by any other name. To him, she is above all other women. It's not that he feels anything like love for Irene Adler. All emotions, love especially, are alien to his cold, precise, but admirably balanced mind. He is, in my opinion, the most perfect reasoning and observing machine the world has ever seen. I had gotten married and moved. While he remained at our lodgings on Baker Street, from time to time I saw reports in the papers of him solving some great crime or other. But that was about it. One night I was heading home after tending to a patient when I found myself on Baker Street. I looked up to see Holmes's window brightly lit, and his tall, thin figure pacing the room swiftly, his head sunk on his chest, and his hands clasped behind him. I knew all his moods and habits, and could tell that he was hot on the scent of some new problem. I rang the bell and went up. "You look happy and healthy, my dear Watson," he said as we settled before the fire. "And in practice again, though you told me that you didn't think you ever would." "Then how do you know?" "I see it. I deduce it. I also see that you have been getting yourself very wet lately, and have a clumsy servant girl." "My dear Holmes, this is too much. In olden days, you would have been burned at the stake as a witch. I did get wet on Thursday, during a walk in the country. But I've changed my clothes since then. And yes, Mary Jane is hopeless. My wife just fired her. But how do you know these things?" He chuckled to himself. "Simple, Watson. The leather on the inside of your left shoe is scratched in 4 parallel cuts. It is obvious that someone, very careless, scraped mud from it recently. So I can see that you've been out in foul weather, and were not very well taken care of afterward. As for your practice, you walked in here smelling of iodine, with the stethoscope stored in your hat. I would be an idiot indeed not to deduce that you are practicing medicine again." I laughed. "When you explain, it always seems so ridiculously simple. But I'm baffled until you point out each thing and how you have interpreted it. Yet my eyes are as good as yours." "You see, but you don't observe," said Holmes. "For instance, you have often climbed the stairs to this apartment." "Yes, hundreds of times." "How many steps are there?" "I don't know." "Exactly. You haven't observed. By the way, I'm on a new case. My client should be here at any moment. I received a note saying that a man would come at 7:45 p.m., and not to be surprised that he'll be wearing a mask." "A mask? How mysterious. What do you suppose that means?" I asked. "I have no data yet. It is a major mistake to theorize before one has data. It makes you twist facts to fit theories, instead of coming up with theories that fits the facts. We'll have answers soon enough. Here he comes." There was a loud, authoritative tap, and a man entered. He was more than 6 feet, 6 inches tall, with powerful arms and chest. He was grandly dressed, obviously a very wealthy man. A black mask covered the upper part of the man's face. "You received my note?" he asked in German accent. "Yes, I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend Dr. Watson. You may trust him as you do me. Please have a seat, and tell us why you are here." "Call me Count von Kram. I must bind you both to absolute secrecy. This is a matter of great importance. It would affect European politics." "Of course," said Holmes. "Excuse the mask. I admit that the name I just gave is not my own." "I am aware of that," said Holmes, taking a seat and closing his eyes. This surprised our visitor, who stared. Holmes opened his eyes and gave the man an impatient look. "If your Majesty would please tell me why you are here," he said, "I would be better able to help you." The man leaped from his chair. "You're right. I'm the King of Bohemia." "Indeed," said Holmes. "You hadn't spoken before I was aware of who you are. You are Willem Gastreich Sigismund von Ornstein, Grand Duke of Cassel-Felstein. and soon to be king of Bohemia. Yes, but how? Never mind that now. Why do you seek my help? I'm about to be married to the daughter of the king of Scandinavia. So I've heard. The marriage is important to both of our countries. Nothing must stop it. But a woman from my past is threatening to do just that. Who is she? Asked Holmes. Irene Adler, an opera singer. 5 years ago, I met her and was fascinated. I wrote her love letters and followed her everywhere. I was young and foolish. Was there a secret marriage? Asked Holmes. No, nothing like that, said the king. But she has the letters and a photo of us together. She says that she'll show them to my fiancée to make her jealous. Then, Your Majesty, you must pay her whatever she asks. She doesn't want money. She wants me. She vowed that I won't marry any woman but her. Then have someone take the letters and photograph. I tried, but it didn't work. She's going to send them to my fiancé in 3 days, when our engagement is announced in the newspapers. We have plenty of time, said Holmes. Give me the lady's address, then go back to your hotel. I'll let you know how we progress. When the king had gone, Holmes turned to me. Can you come by tomorrow at 3, Watson? You may be able